him and be able to take advantage of their offensive line, which is pretty banged up right now. Now, with that being said, this could be a drag-out fight. They always say trap games. I know people hate trap games. The truth is, we're going into Cleveland. They're 0-2. They don't really, they have not looked that great the first 2 weeks. And what's happening? They have an opportunity to upset a 2-0 team. And so I really hope the Packers are up and ready for this game. I feel like with the leadership that we have on this team, with McKinney, with to include with Parsons, and of course you got Keyshawn Nixon, you have Rashawn Gary on defense. On offense, you have Jordan Love, you have Josh Jacobs. I mean, I feel like they're and Tucker Kraft. I feel like these guys are there to where they are able to they are able to help take the team and push them past situations where I think in the past the youth would kind of catch up with them and not allow them to be able to have the right people in place to say the right things to get them over the hump. But without further ado, let me introduce my partner in crime, Mr. Trey. I'm not going to say your last name because I'm going to probably brutalize it. How you doing, man? How's everything going?
Going good. I forgot I was like getting ready to come on and I was wearing my work clothes yet. And I was like, because we've been doing the radio show and nobody can see me. So I'm like, I can just come straight from work to the radio show. And I was like, crap, we're live. Okay. Maybe I should shower and pretty up a little bit before we jump onto this one. So doing good though. Doing good.
Good, man. Good, man. Yeah, I was just going to say, I just kind of went through and let everybody know that we're coming back on the show. We're going to start doing these every Thursday is our plan. And that basically, kind of went over just how we're feeling about the Packers in general, what we've done so far, just basically all the things in the offseason to include game Micah Parsons, which I still think is a dream that I hope I never wake up from. And just where we look as a team on offense and defense the last 2 weeks. And then I'm really right now on the Browns and just kind of getting your thoughts. I mean, how you recap some of the stuff you're feeling. How are you feeling about this Green Bay Packers team so far?
It's harder to find the things that you dislike than the things that you like, right? That's always a good thing. We've had years where it's like there's a lot of things we dislike with this team. With this, what we're looking at right now, there's a lot to love. Love, right? You got the pass rush, which we asked for. We really wanted a pass rush. We got it. We wanted that number one wide receiver. We feel like he's there. It's just, can we get him involved? And that's what we're waiting to see so far is get Matthew Golden involved. So we're waiting to see that one right now, waiting to see some of these young guys. I mean, Baron Sorrell looks like he's got a lot of upside. There's a lot of potential there. So that's exciting. Stackhouse, I mean, we talked about it a long time ago. We thought he could be good. Yeah. It was still in the question. And now he's ahead of Brinson, who they drafted. So, I mean, that was pretty cool to see there. I mean, there's a lot to love. The statistics point in that direction. There's still, I mean, some things to clean up, and I think they will over time here. And if they do that, this is a scary team.
Yeah, 100%. I think that they are well on their way. Consider the fact that we're in week 3 and we're finding minor things that they need to clean up. Things that are kind of self-imposed, but nowhere what they used to be like last year. Last year, talk about penalties after penalties after penalties, and then just inconsistency. I feel like this year, a lot of that stuff has been kind of weeded out. And really seeing where they're going to take – because right now they got a team that's young, that for the most part is healthy, and they really need to just take it to that next step. And honestly, the schedule kind of plays out pretty well. I think every year when the schedule comes out and we look at that bye week, right, and we have a week 5 bye week, everybody's like, oh, man. Before it was a late bye week, and we're like, oh, that's great. And then we find out we really need an early one. And this year we're like, oh, man, it's an early bye week. But so far with the way it looks, all the injuries we have on the offensive line, possibly Tucker Kraft now banged up his knee in practice. They said that he's going to be okay, but he may or may not play this week. And having that bye week on week 5 is kind of crazy. But it seems like it's going to benefit us.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And you're talking like Christian Watson coming back along with that bye week. I mean, right now, like you said, the way that schedule kind of worked itself out, Joe Burrow being out now for the Bengals, Jake Browning, the Bengals, I think they're not going to be great, but they're going to be okay with Browning. I don't think it's going to be this huge step back, but the schedule definitely got more favorable, not having faced Joe Burrow. You don't have to see, I mean, Dak Prescott's actually been very underrated this year with what he's got going on in Dallas, but outside of Dak, I mean, you don't really have to see anybody out. I mean, Rodgers against the Steelers, but outside of that, you don't have to see a real top 5 or anything quarterback until you go and play the Eagles.
Exactly.
And then after that, I mean, you're back to until you play the Ravens. So you don't really have to. You're not going to be you want to be tested. Don't get me wrong. You want to be tested in the schedule, but the schedule definitely got easier. It definitely got easier by the looks of it along the way. They're not going to get as many battle scars.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where when you saw the schedule come out, you're like, man, this is going to be definitely a battle of like attrition, adversity. But then things started playing out and like some injuries started occurring. You're like, oh man. And like, you never kind of you want to see teams at their full strength. That way you can kind of really get a gauge of like how your team is. Like, I was really looking forward to seeing how this defense would have played against Joe Burrow and those weapons on the outside.
Yep.
Jake Browning still is a pretty good quarterback. He has been a backup there forever. So because of that, I feel like they're not going to really have like that much of a drop off when it comes to like, there'll be a drop off obviously because Joe Burrow is amazing, but it won't be something like where you got a guy like, I feel like Minnesota bringing in Carson Wentz, he wasn't there for any of the training camp and they got him starting now against Cincinnati. And honestly, he only has he's kind of coming like Malik Willis, just like how he did last year, kind of learning on the go. So it is one of those things where there you have Rasheed Walker coming out and talk about that he feel like we can go undefeated. And I think he kind of made those same comments last year. I really need him to chill out on that stuff. I don't need bulletin board out there. And if it happens, that's great. But man, at this point, I don't even care. I just want us just to be I just want us in the playoffs and healthy. That's it. I don't want anything else.
Doesn't it seem like Rasheed Walker likes to talk? He likes to talk a lot.
Too much.
Like every year, whether it was in the offseason, they're talking about going against Micah Parsons when he was first coming in to now you got this. And I know it's all lighthearted fun, right? He's just trying to mess with guys and everything. But man, I just puts that target on you. It just puts that target on you a little bit. And you're like, Dan Campbell, if he gets a lead on you, he's going to run you up so fast. It's not even funny. Like it just puts that kind of target on your back where you're like, oh boy, like, okay, settle down. Like, don't jinx yourself. Let's just stick with it. It's looking good, but it's not looking like undefeated good. You're not looking untouchable right now. You're looking like a team that can still be touched because there are problems, right? We talked about the other day on the radio, the third quarter problem. Right now, they struggle.
That has not gone away.
So, I mean, there's still a lot. There's still not. I don't know if you really call it issues, but issues, right? There's still things to clean up, fix, get going here. So, I mean, I love the thought. Like, yeah, this team could go undefeated. I think maybe, right? But it's so hard to win every game in the NFC North going away and go on the road in the NFC North and win every game. And I mean, there's too many things that can go wrong. Plus the Eagles, you got to play the Eagles in there. You got, I mean, just that random game against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers where that could go sideways on you so fast because I just got that feeling.
Yeah, that he's going to
Rodgers is going to torch him. Rodgers is just going to torch him. It's going to look like Rodgers Super Bowl year, or Rodgers run the table year, and he's just going to go out there and just torch everybody, and it's going to be like, oh, okay, thanks. One last hurrah, and then he's going to be done. He's just going to be like, oh, yep, I'm going to hang it up for the rest of the year. Like I'm done after this game here. So I got that feeling with Rodgers. He's just going to find it in that game. I don't want him to. I really don't
want it either. I honestly, I hate to say it, I kind of want to keep it to where he doesn't have a win against every team in the league. As much as I would love for him, as my Packer fandom would love for him to have that, but I'm sorry, maybe that's one thing that we just don't want him to get. I'm sorry. I'm with you on that. Because it's one of those things where I've been watching him playing some of the Steelers games. I mean, in that Jets game, he had a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to beat the Jets. He wanted to get them back for the way they treated him in the offseason or whatever. So when he has a chip on his shoulder and he has a real motivation to really stick it to somebody, he plays lights out. And that's where I feel like he may try to get us for sure. I think he's going to definitely make it a point to put everything he has to put in to beat us. And you know what? If that happens, it happens. I'm going to be at that game. I'm going to that game in Pittsburgh. So, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And, I don't think I want to witness him beating us. But no, I think you're right though. It's gonna be one of those things where he's gonna pull a rabbit out of his hat or something, and here we go.
It just gotta happen that way.
So, but on that though, man, I was gonna say it's been definitely so far, just listening to the way the players are, the way the coaches have been talking. I feel like LaFleur definitely as I've been listening to his press conferences, he just comes out. He always just seems very angry, right? Yep. Even on the sideline against Washington, where you saw JJ Eguigabare come out, he was going to come onto the field and they're going to go for it, right? They're trying to get 12 men on the field, and I guess Eguigabare ran onto the field thinking that they're going to do a field goal. He got so pissed at him for hey, you need to be paying attention to where you need to be, this and that. I was like, goodness, but I was like, he's always been a fiery dude. I just feel like he's more a the heck's the word I'm looking for? He's been more like just seems more like annoyed than he ever has before, man.
Well, a new guy in town in Ed Policy walks in the door.
Fair.
Maybe
Fair.
he's got that feeling like, hey,
Yeah.
for the past couple years, we've had this label of the youngest team in football, which we are, which they, the Packers are. But excuse me, but the old problems are still there. The false
100%.
starts, the silly penalties, just that kind of mistake, like Engelbart, where you're trying to do something and it could come back to bite you at the end of the day.
Yep.
It's those little things that I feel like maybe, just maybe, he's finally like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I've seen this. We've lived this. It's been year after year now. I'm sick of dealing with it. I understand you guys are younger, but Engelbart, you're not young. You're not young. You've been here. You understand. And he was confused, right? There's a lot of guys on the sidelines. There's a lot of things going on. Maybe he heard one thing and there was another thing happening, right? Maybe he wasn't close. I don't know. I would have to go back and look at the whole scenario and look at over. But I mean, there is definitely a lot of things that could have been going on inside of Engelbart's head to run out there. But Matt LaFleur, I mean, you got to take ownership and you got to get after guys, and you like that. So you like this side that he's starting to show, where it's kind of a grizzly, old man, Dan Campbell look, right? He's watched Dan Campbell get after guys and get all angry out there. And he's like, hey, maybe I got to take a different approach. Because this is a guy that he's respected around the league for the way he handles players. Maybe I got to be that guy. And if it gets me beat up by a player, it gets me beat up by a player. But I'm good. Like, at the end of the day, I'm good. I have to take – these guys got to take ownership because I'm trying to be their coach here. And if they don't, well, they're not going to fit this system. I think that's the right way to do it, and I think he's doing it now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of those ones where he knows that, like, he's had some really good teams. He probably feels like he should have been in the Super Bowl at least 2 times right now, maybe even 3, right?
Yeah.
2 years with Rodgers and 2023 with Love, right? And so I feel like maybe he is, like you say, he's feeling the heat. But I do feel like this is probably one of the best teams he's had, overall when it comes to leadership, when it comes to experience, and when it comes to talent. I think getting Parsons was that equalizer. And now we're at a point where it's time to put up or shut up, right? We've talked about that. We talked about how both Gutekunst and LaFleur, they basically have 2 years left on their deal. Ed Policy say he doesn't want to do lame duck, what you call it, coaches and GM. So, if they show out this year and let's say they win it all, they're both going to be extended probably for the next 5 years, right? And if they don't, not only does that suck for those two, because they'll probably be here for another year and they might be gone. But then after Goody leaves, whoever comes in will be out of a first-round pick probably, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where they definitely need to be able to kind of show what they got here. And I'm looking forward to it. So far, I like what they're cooking. It seems good to me, man. I'm not complaining one bit. I mean, I just want them to get the run game going. I know, like, one of the things about this Packers team lately, last year and this year, run blocking has not been good. Right. And we've talked about that. Right. And then pass block has been outstanding, but run blocking, not so much. And Jacobs has had to make something with nothing. And man, like, just to see that now. And then all of a sudden you saw Aaron Jones. He's already back on IR because of that same hamstring injury that screwed him up in 2023 and in 2024. So no, 2023. Sorry, 2023. And man, like, I just tell you, man, this is the game where I know it's going to be hard to run on this Cleveland team because they literally have given up only 97 yards rushing in 2 games. And that was with them going against Derrick Henry. And they literally they did everything they could to shut down Derrick Henry. And all that did was Lamar Jackson just threw all over them. So this could be that kind of game again where they try to establish the run. It doesn't work. And guess what? Jordan Love just lights them up. I'm hoping that's the case.
I don't know. Do you run more play action to try to open that up? Maybe try to get more things moving. I was just kind of looking through PFF here and the pressure and the depth chart that they had for Jordan Love. And I mean, we talked about his deep ball, and he's 4 for 11, 20 plus yards right now. So I mean, you could maybe look into that and say, okay, you'd have to go back, look at every single throw, see
Right.
how the pocket was, see if he was just trying to chuck it up. Like, what was the pocket? What did the pocket look like? Who was the guy on the receiving end of it? What was the coverage? What did that look like? Where did he have to throw it to try to avoid the coverage? What was it? And I know there was a few to Matthew Golden, a couple where it could have been touchdown.
Oh, easily.
And he missed
Easily.
them.
Yeah.
And we talked about it the other day on the show where we said, I think a lot of it has to do with getting timing down. I don't think he realizes how fast Matthew Golden actually is. Like, I mean,
he's still overthrew him, bro.
Yeah, you're like, and I think that's partially like you seeing him blazing a trail down the sideline, and you're like, oh boy, I got to really get this.
I got to rip it. Yeah.
Yep. And then he's like, oh, okay, maybe a little too much. So now he's got to dial it back, and it's going to come with time, I think, and that's going to slowly figure its way out. But I mean, looking at his charts, looking at Jordan Love's charts so far, I mean, there's not a whole lot to hate. You look at outside left, he's 1 for 4. Outside right, he's 1 for 2, 2 for 5 up the middle. But outside of that, you look at the depths here, 10 plus, between 5 and 10, he's 6 for 6, 4 for 4, and 5 for 5 across the board.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, I mean, his charts where he's pretty consistent here, even under 20 yards, 3 for 4 to the outside left, 5 for 7 between the numbers, and 4 for 5 to the outside right. So, I mean, you're even talking at 10 to 20, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's actually improved on
find the outside on outside the numbers there, and he can find the deep ball there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking MVP season.
Remember last year he had a hard time with the intermediate and short throws at times, right? Yeah. But he was throwing it deep and hitting everything. So now it's flipped. It's kind of got inversed a little bit. But I think he just puts it together. I think once Christian Watson comes back, because he has chemistry with him, right? I think people do forget that, Romeo Doubs is a deep threat. I mean, he was a deep threat in Nevada, right? Yeah, Nevada. And he can get open down deep. I mean, he's proved that his whole career. I really do wonder what LaFleur has in the bag when, Watson comes back. And also this week, what he plans on, how he's going to plan on exposing this Cleveland Brown defense that plays majority of their time in cover one, meaning that they play man coverage across the board, right? And I think Dontavian Wicks in his presser this week by the locker room interview, he says that, I love it when they play man. And a guy like him who gets pretty open pretty easily, and his biggest issue has been catching the ball, and he hasn't had any drops, knock on wood, so far this year, right? I know I kind of jinxed it now. He's going to have a drop now. You're going to text me and be like, there you go, see that you did it. So, but no, I'm with you. I just feel like this is going to be the game where I feel like the last 2 weeks, the defenses we played have been decent but not great. Now you got a good defense. And if we can still keep it rolling the way we've been rolling, all right, I might be start drinking the Kool-Aid. I might be drinking whatever the hell Mr. Sheed Walker's drinking for sure.
The thing that's going to bust up a cover one, and this is what the Packers lacked last season that I think now it's going to benefit them, is they didn't have a field tilter. And by 100%, that, there was 100%. No guy where you had to extremely, like, this guy is going to burn my corners no matter what they do. Right. We have to tilt the field to move. So that safety that's playing deep, he's by himself back there. He's got to pick a side now.
Exactly. Yeah, my guess, middle field. Yeah, he's playing middle field the whole time. Yeah.
My guess would be he's shading towards a Matthew Golden side of the field, 100%. Shading towards that side. 100%. So now this is where a Dontavian Wicks, who can get himself his separation. I was looking at, I forgot where the heck that number was, but Matthew Golden's separation is unreal.
It's the ASS stat? Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I can't.
Average separation something. I know exactly. I saw that too. Him, Dontavian Wicks, and Romeo Doubs, all three of them were up there.
It was something crazy. Yeah, it was something crazy there. But you got him, and then now you're talking Dontavian Wicks and Doubs. You're like, we don't have that many good corners. Where are you going to put them all? Where are you going to put him? And then if Tucker Kraft can play, Luke Musgrave's a guy who can stretch the field too, so you get him involved in there. You have so many weapons that now, even a team like you said, where they want to pull that cover one, they might not be able to sit in a comfortable defense in this one.
I don't think so.
If you can, I don't know if Zach Tom's going to play. I don't know what's going to happen there. He practiced, but we don't know.
I think Banks plays. Tom doesn't play. Personally, I feel that way.
Yeah, so you're talking Kennard, you're talking Belton, but Belton played really good against the Commanders. Now, he wasn't facing a Myles Garrett, but he was facing
Von Miller.
Talent. Yeah, he was facing some decent talent.
Miller's no slouch, right? Yeah.
No, exactly. And that's where it's like, okay, so you've seen, you know what he can do. So you're thinking, okay, Jordan Love should, knock on wood, have a clean pocket in this game, which benefits Jordan Love because I was just looking at his numbers and I keep exiting out of stuff to go talk about different things there. But when he's under pressure, he's 6 for 18, which kind of, I don't know if
It's
you're
actually,
worried.
and it's
You're
funny, he
worried
has
as
not
much.
been, he hasn't been that bad against the blitz, and this year he has been.
No,
Yeah.
against the blitz, when he's blitzed, he's 17 for 25. When he's not blitzed, he's 18 for 28. But when the pocket's kept clean, this is the number you got to look at, 29 for 35.
Oh, I see.
So he's 29 for 35 when he's kept clean in there. When he's staying upright and he's kept clean, which is what you want to see anyways.
Yeah.
This guy 29 for 35. So he's dynamite in there. He's 91 in all of his grades basically across the board when he's kept clean. So you're looking at that. You're like, if you can keep him upright against this team, hey, they don't have the secondary that's going to be able to stop what's coming at them. No. And then, I mean, you got to open up the pass game to bring back that run game because it's going to open up the field a little bit there. So you're looking at that. That's where we're looking right now, is seeing this Green Bay Packer team keep that pocket clean for them, make some throws, beat up the secondary as we know they can. They're going to have to switch up coverages then because cover one ain't going to work against this team if Matthew Golden's torching them and he can hit them down the sideline there. You start torching them there, they're going to have to switch up the coverage. Then that's where Josh Jacobs comes into play there and is able to open up some holes. And then what do you do if you're the Browns? You're kind of toasted then. So you're
exactly. Hell yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. I think the biggest thing is going to be the game record. We have a game record in Parsons. They have a game record in Garrett. And you just have to find a way. And in the past, Packers have not really helped their tackles, right? Because a lot of times their tackles have been able to handle those rushers on their own. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they go about, do they give Walker help? Does he line up? He doesn't, because the thing with like Garrett, he doesn't really line up. He normally lines up on the right side of the defense or on the left side on the offense, right? And so he normally is going up against a left tackle every time. He just eats them up every single time. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we put Belton out there, will he switch sides? And if he does, all right, well then Belton's up for a test because at the end of the day, you're a second round pick, so this is your time to shine or not, right?
Yep.
And man, when I just look at the way as big and as strong, as fast as he is, and I just saw a clip against Baltimore, his bend is just disgusting. Like, it doesn't even make any sense that he can bend the way he does at his size. So I'm with you. Like, it's one of those things where, wow, I'm sorry, I'm like watching the game too, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But no, I think that it's one of those things where it's a great test for our offense. Defensively, I think we're going to be okay. I don't want to knock on wood or anything, but like, seriously, I think defensively we can find. Offensively, I don't want this to be a drag out game. We cannot. I feel like with Washington, we kept them around too long until we kind of got away from them, right? We can't do that again. We have to kind of get up on them on 2 scores, 3 scores, kind of like how Baltimore did. And at that point, you make it one-dimensional, and that doesn't make a difference.
Yep. No, I would agree 100%. And there's lots of ways. I mean, not lots of ways, right? It's Myles Garrett, but
yeah.
You could keep back a Chris Brooks. You can have him chip. You can have a Tucker Kraft chip on his way out, or maybe you keep Ben Sims in the game and you go, your 12 personnel there, and you keep Ben Sims and you throw him on Myles Garrett's side and you say, hey, stay in here to block. Yeah. Like, there's lots of different things you can do, and it's going to come down to, can the rest of those guys take care of their business on the outside? Dontavian Wicks, Golden. Can those guys get open so you don't have to rely on, say, Josh Jacobs coming out of the backfield for a swing pass, or Chris Brooks, or whatever it is? That's where it's going to come down to. So if you can get help on Myles Garrett in this one, which you should be able to, if you can exploit the rest of those weaknesses that this Browns defense has. If you're going to just try to man up Myles Garrett, there's not many tackles. Even Zach Tom might get 8 alive by Myles Garrett. You never know. Myles Garrett, he's a different kind of cat some days.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. I think Zach Tom's fantastic, so I think he's going to be better off.
Right.
I think he's better off. I just think Myles Garrett's he's very, very good. Like, very good. So, and at the end of the day, I think they'll be fine with it. I think they're going to find different ways to try to either chip him, punch him, whatever you got to do. Keep him out of the play. Give Jordan Love as much time as you can. And, I mean, I was looking through the statistics over here. When Jordan Love's given a little bit of time and he's able to hit the short routes, he's perfect so far. He's money. He's 100% across the board on short passes, either left, center, or right. So, go quick with it. Go quick and try to get this Browns team on their heels. And then all of a sudden, what are they going to do? They got to press. Now you bury them deep. You just hit somebody off the sideline. It's a quick hitter. I mean, there's little things that you can do if you're Matt LaFleur in this one to exploit this defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of those things where you have to be able to – I feel like this team is the one team that we've seen a long time that dictates on both sides of the field, right?
Yep.
For the longest time, our defense would be very passive. Offensively, we normally have been the ones that kind of dictate the game, but on defense, no. Now, I feel like on both offense and defense, we're having that, and seeing how the injury report played out when it comes to like Bo Melton coming back, who we did miss last week in special teams. And then, of course, for the most part, I think Josh Jacobs has an ankle injury, but I don't see him missing the game. And for the most part, we're going to be pretty healthy. Losing Brenton Cox kind of sucks because he's a great pass rusher and he's a good special teamer. They haven't replaced him yet. They put him on IR. They haven't filled his spot yet, so I'm trying to figure out what they're doing there. But I wonder if they're going to call up Mecole Hardman or something like that, because watching the way Golden try to return that punt and almost get a safety, and then also get his leg almost ripped off. I'm good. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that kind of like foolishness in my life. So. But
it's a reason for Hardman. It was the
exactly
reason why everybody believed that they signed
100%.
Was the key Reed, who Reed was broken the entire time, and we still had him out. I understand you can't, collarbone happens, everything like that, but he had the foot problem. As much as people tried to say, well, it's just him sitting out for this contract. It's not that. Sometimes guys are actually hurt. Sometimes they're actually hurt. And then you get the report. It's like, oh, hey, guys had double surgery today, and it's like, oh. Okay.
Yeah. And honestly,
nice to hear.
Like listening to him and then listen to Wildy even said, and I agree with him, because let's say he didn't break his collarbone, right? He would have played the whole year on a broken foot.
Yeah.
He would have tried. He would have pushed through it, and he would have tried to do it. Guess what?
He was playing good with a broken foot.
He was though, but maybe
he needs to be broken.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, maybe. But bro, all I know is that he has. If he now that both things are gonna get healed. Collarbone takes about 6 to 8 weeks. Broken foot, especially the fifth metatarsal, which he had the Jones fracture. That's also a 6 to 8 week thing. Yeah, he'll be back. I would say probably by November. And here we go. He's back for Thanksgiving. Hey, baby, I'm down. Let's do it.
As long as everybody else stays healthy, right? Knock on wood with that.
Knock on wood.
I mean, you have guys. This is where the depth. This is where the problem of all the receivers will come to benefit the Packers here. Is you have guys who you can fill into that role. A Matthew Golden might get more looks. A Wicks might get more looks. And then you're talking Christian Watson is coming back here in a few weeks. So, I mean, you have a lot of guys. And then, like you said, you have Hardman down there. And maybe they don't even fill that spot. I think they'd be crazy if they don't fill that spot. But maybe they don't. Maybe they just leave it open because – I mean, in all reality, you don't really have to fill it.
No, you don't have to.
Really need that position.
If you need it, you do, but you don't. I agree.
Yeah. Exactly. So you might just say whatever at this point. So, I mean, we'll kind of see what they do with it. I would bring up Hardman. I would keep Hardman up, and I wouldn't send him back because this whole kick return and Keyshawn Nixon, if he wants to be my CB1, great. I don't need him returning kicks.
I don't need him KR1.
Jaden Reed is supposed to be one of my weapons on the offensive side of the football, and he's fragile at times. I don't need him returning punts. If he's going to get hurt, I want him to be on the offensive side, and he gets hit by Brian Branch out in the field or something like that. If you have Keyshawn Nixon gets hurt, I want him that he got his ankles broken by Justin Jefferson, and now he's laying on the turf, and that's why we got to cart him off. Not because he's returning kicks and gets clogged, or because Jaden Reed is trying to return a punt and gets clogged. Because we all know it happens. We've seen it. They forget to fair catch it or something, and all of a sudden somebody gets clocked, and it's like, oh, well, he's concussed. There we go. Like, there's so many of those silly things that can happen when you're doing special teams, when you're doing extra. And these two guys especially, are supposed to be main cogs, right? In the offense and the defense. You can't have them doing those extra crazy things. That's like having Keyshawn Nixon. I mean, I'm done with that. Hardman should just stay up and be up.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it like this too. That's why they got Savion Williams, right? Savion looked great as a kick returner. He also looked great as a motion dude, taking sweeps.
Thought of that catching problem though, just straight.
100%. I agree. He's bobbing the ball and doing all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, though, like, you know what, though? As a size speed freak, he is everything we thought of Laviska Shenault was going to be, and he's so far showing that he can get it done. So I'm all for getting him touches. Because at the end of the day, like, from a football perspective, we just have weapons everywhere and just have to just take advantage of them in the right situations. We did that against Washington. We did it against Detroit. We got to do it against Cleveland. I think we're running with something.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100%.
So, as my boy used to say, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We're back on the show. We've tried this thing, so I feel like we'll close it out now. We kind of covered everything. I know we both want. You know me. I don't do predictions. I ain't doing no prediction. You know me. I don't mess with no predictions. So, I just want us to have a good game on Sunday. Come out with a victory, so we can have something to talk about on the radio show, as well as we can talk about on Thursday. But Trey, please tell everybody where they can find you. Also, tell them about the show, the radio show that you have, and let's get it all out there.
Well, you can find me Wisco Sports on the go across Facebook, Twitter, wherever. I mean, social medias. You can find the podcast, which is the radio show, is the podcast. So Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trey across all podcast platforms. You can find it there. And then on Wednesdays, if you're not in the central Wisconsin area, you got to search it, 92.3 WOSQ. You can find it. Click up in the top right corner is a play button. Click it. You can listen to the show 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Remember Central Time there. You can find the show there. Elmer stops by. We always talk Packers. We talk Badgers there. We talk Brewers. We talk everything. It gets weird sometimes. There's a whole
he covers it all. He covers it all.
You never know. You never know what we're going to get to. There's a lot of craziness in the sports world. So, I mean, we get it all. We get it all there. Tons of great guests and everything in between. So make sure you guys are checking it out.
Good deal. Awesome, bro. And you guys can find me at AMAR3455 on Twitter. Also on Instagram, you can find us at Coast to Coast Packers. We have a Coast to Coast Packers Twitter account. We got an Instagram account. We're going to slowly get a Kick and a Twitch and all that good stuff. But, yeah, you can find us all over the place. And, just happy to be back on the show and looking forward to doing this as a weekly thing and getting our followers back up here again.
Oh, yeah. And we're hoping the Brewers pull this off because the Cubs are losing.
Yep. Hey, you guys know, everyone knows I'm a Braves fan, but I'm rooting for the Brewers if the Braves aren't in it. So you guys got my love for that. I'll tell you that.
It's just, you can't hate the Brewers. They just don't.
Yeah, they're just a good team, man. They're a good team. I respect it, and they ran the right way. So
exactly, and the Cubs suck. So that's all we need.
Cubs. Anything Chicago sucks. I'm sorry. Minus Michael Jordan, everything else sucks about Chicago. So.
The only thing that kept him alive was Michael Jordan.
That's it.
Outside of that, they suck.
And Derrick Rose. I have love for Derrick Rose.
I do like D Rose. What could have been?
What could have been? Completely agree. I'm still heartbroken for how many times that dude towards the MACL. That's just terrible.
That's true. That is true.
Good deal with Trey, man. Great seeing you again, and I'll hopefully see you again next week. And yeah, man, go Pack.
Go Pack, go. That's all you need to know.